Hey guys, today I'm here to review Volume 1 of The Walking Dead, Days Gone By. Now, I watched, I believe, about 2 seasons of the show so far. I haven't gotten too far into it. And I've read some of the comics before, but I really just kind of wanted to get into more of the comics than I was before. So I actually found this at a garage sale for a quarter, which surprised me. But anyways, let's just get started with the review. My opinion of the show thus far, from what I've seen from like the first 2 seasons, I liked it. Do I think it deserves all the praise it gets? Eh. Like I get why people praise it, but there's this kid in my high school who literally said that's the best show ever. Everyone needs to watch it. I'm like, yeah, it's a good show, but I wouldn't necessarily consider it the best show ever. But as far as accuracy to the comics, or as far as accuracy went to the comics, I noticed the show actually left a lot of stuff out, which, whatever. And they added a bunch more stuff and it was weird. But as for the comic itself, I liked it. I actually liked this a lot better than the show. I felt that the show drags on a bit, while the comic sort of picks up the pace on a lot of things. I think it took about like almost 4 episodes for them to for what's his name? Sorry, yeah, for Rick to get out of the city that he was in, and this and find his family and everything. And this, let me check. I don't know. What page is it on? In this, it takes about like 1/4 of the book. It really took a lot less time and everything. And I noticed, I believe the kid was a lot younger in this, Rick's kid. And another thing, like you didn't see too much of the relationship between Rick and Sean, like before this had all started and everything. Is it Sean or Shane? I always forget. It's Shane, sorry. The relationship between those two, you don't really see too much of it in this, but they tried to show at least a little bit of it in the show and everything. But this is actually written really well, and it's produced out by Image, and Image is one of the most unpredictable comic book companies for quality-wise, just due to the fact that it's all independent writers, so you never know if you're going to get something good or bad. And I really do also like the art in this. It's not like Jim Lee super detailed art, except for on the gore. They really actually went out all detailed in the gore and everything. But as for just like regular characters, it looks like pretty average comic book art. It's more of a stylistic thing than anything else. And yeah. Also, Shane in this, he is a lot more brutal earlier than he was in the show. Like in the show, I noticed that Shane, uh, he gets brutal a lot more, like a lot later, especially when he gets drunk and everything. But in the book, he is just always pissed off for no apparent reason, just because Rick tries to give his opinions and everything. And it's also really weird. Um, I believe the old guy. Why? I always forget the name of the characters in this. It's weird. Uh, Let me just find this. Oh yeah, Dale. Like a lot of the ladies, they think he's like a pervert for housing 2 of the girls that he found on the street there during the zombie outbreak and everything, which I think is a bit ridiculous. I mean, he was just helping them, and he always talks about it, just like it's nice to have actual company and everything. His wife got the virus and everything, and he had to like shoot her in the head and then bury her, which is really sad. But one thing also, in the show there was a relationship built up between Wow. Uh, Amy and Andrea. Sorry about that. But in this, it's not really shown that much, and then when she dies, it seems like they're making it such a big deal in the book. But really, it's just like the characters were barely even there and developed, so it's not really that much of a big deal to me. But in the show, when she died, it was more of a, oh, it's kind of sad and everything. But in this, it's just sort of like, well, okay, more zombie meat, whatever. Another thing, I didn't realize this till a little bit ago, because my knowledge of the Walking Dead comics were very limited and everything, and I'd only read like a few of them. But the Walking Dead show, the character of Daryl and his brother who got killed early, as far as I know, they were completely made up for the show. I didn't notice. I didn't know this. I've been doing some research, and I believe it said on some websites and everything they're showing pictures for like the next few issues and everything, and they're showing like crossbow and stuff, which in the show is Daryl's signature weapon, and Daryl's like my favorite character in that show. So they might bring Daryl into the comics, but he's not in the comics and everything, which I find weird because I always just assume and everything. And like Daryl's not in the comics. Let's see. Like a lot of the people, like there was a thing in the show and everything, where when they went to the city in the comic book, like back to the city, in the show it was because that bag of guns that Rick got from the police station he dropped in the middle of there. And I like what they did here better. It's what they did was instead of getting that bag of guns, they went to the gun store and they bought more, and they put all the zombie like flesh and stuff on them, so the zombies wouldn't track their scent. I liked that in the show. It was a lot more gory in the show, in my opinion, and it's like a smart idea and everything. But it really didn't make sense that that one bag of guns would last everyone in the camp. So I'm happy that they brought up that issue where they bought, or they not bought, they stole a lot more guns and everything from the store. And it was like in the show. It was, wow. I really, I'm not very good at memorizing characters' names. So, yeah, Glenn and Rick, when they went to go get that, it was pretty much the same as it was in the show, except for it was a lot more dramatic in the show because they were trying to move a lot slower. And when it was in the comic book and everything, it went by a lot faster because they just started shooting and they were able to outrun them pretty easily. In the show, it was a lot harder. I'm making a lot of comparisons, but this, in my opinion, is a lot better than the show. It's superior and everything. Like I said, I like the art. The writing is really good, and I like the little introduction at the beginning, where the writer talks about how the best zombie movies aren't the complete and total gore fests, which I don't necessarily agree with that. I get what he's saying, how writing is the thing that should really matter, but I do like gore fest zombie movies. Evil Dead, for instance, and I don't care what people say, it's a zombie movie. Yes, it's a demon possession movie also, but it's a zombie movie. Get over it. But, I like that movie. Like, that's on my top 10 movies, the Evil Dead trilogy, but... I do agree with him for the most part that if your movie doesn't have... Or your movie or book or whatever doesn't have good writing, good characters, or some kind of a good story, then you're kind of screwed. Like, if your book has a good story and good writing and everything, but the characters suck, then you're just... completely screwed, because whether or not the story is good, you hate the people going on the journey in this story. So I like the fact that he brings this up and everything. Like I said, the art and everything. Shane, yeah, I don't really like him, but that's kind of the point of the character. He's supposed to be a jerk. But this is spoiler heavy territory. Something that was weird to me, I don't know if he actually dies or anything, but Shane at the very end goes like ballistic on Rick and just gets mad at him because Rick keeps blaming him almost for the whole entire zombie thing, like at the camp. And he just goes ballistic and he pulls out a shotgun and almost shoots Rick. But then his son walks over and he's just like, "Don't you kill my daddy!" and just like pops a cap right through his skull and everything, and it's like, jeez. But I don't know. I want to buy Volume 2 just to see how it goes and everything. This is sort of my trial run see if I would like these. But, you know, I really liked them. I would recommend it. I'd give it a... yeah, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It was... I preferred that it was fast-paced by comparison to the show, but it was almost a bit too fast-paced for some parts. Like, they sort of glanced over a lot of character development for some things that I feel they did a better job in the show, which I know was made later, but, you know, you get what I'm saying. Anyways, guys, that's basically it. I had fun with this book, and look forward to more reviews, and that's basically it, guys. So, yeah, see ya.